What is up, YouTube? So in this video I'm going to quickly explain to you how I streamline service delivery in my SMMA. And what I mean by that is very simple. We get leads, we book appointments. And a couple of life hacks that I found along the way on how to make it easier. Basically I broke down the whole process here. Hopefully I won't dox myself with all of the valuable information that I have here. But basically, we run Facebook ads usually most of the times, and we run lead forms. That's pretty much self-explanatory. I won't show you the ads because then you will just start running the same shit that I'm running, and I'm not the fan of it. And I also sound sick, so bear with me. But basically, in the end of the form, it is a very simple thing, and apparently a lot of people are missing out on this one. Basically, in the end of the form, you just write, wait, your registration is not complete yet, book your complimentary in-home consultation before blah, 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 blah. And then you just input like a landing page with a funnel. And that's it. Like, that's literally the only thing that you need to do. But basically, it looks something like this. Let me show it to you. It looks something like this in terms of the funnel breakdown. I actually need to find the sub-account ID and name so that you guys won't funnel hack me. Yeah, it looks something like this. Basically, we have a initial page with calendar and a couple of adjustments that you should definitely make in case you are doing it. You should start asking for address, street address, after people book themselves kind of in. Basically, full name, phone, email, street address. I'm doxing myself so fucking hard, it shows all my fucking addresses throughout my life. Basically, city, postal code. That's like step number one. Step number two is obviously thank you page, because we don't want to see people booking themselves like 2 times for like, I don't know, for the same day. So basically from there, after submitting like this thing for a, on a calendar, they basically go to thank you page and yeah. I need to fix a couple of these stuff here, but basically it works really well. That's pretty much the whole thing, but down the road I also outlined a couple of things that you should do with that. Basically, first thing, since you're providing appointments, obviously not all of the leads will book themselves in. We usually have around 20% leads that we get that book themselves in automatically, but then we still need to confirm these appointments. So what happens is that we either call them, and you can hire ISA to do this. If you don't have funds to hire ISA, you should do it yourself. And while you're calling them, you can also have this beautiful thing, which is infinite follow-ups, because obviously you want to get in touch with the lead as soon as possible. So that you're able to connect with them and, do all of your dirty deeds that you're planning to do with the lead. But basically what we have here is like initial message. And by the way, this part my client does not see. So basically, until the appointment is booked and confirmed, my client doesn't see it. Like, so we are basically taking care of everything. From here, we basically have a couple of automations. Here, I can go and explain them, but it'll be too fucking boring. But basically, we have internal notification that I sent to myself or someone else that looks something like this. New lead for location name. New lead for location name, job, like type project, and etc. Very simple thing that saves a lot of time and notifies me when the leads come in on my phone. The next thing that happens, if they booked appointment automatically, they get tagged within the first like 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Yeah, here it is 3 minutes. So basically, if they book appointment, they don't go through the sequence. If they booked appointment, they don't go. If they didn't, they go through the sequence, because this sequence is only for following up with people. The way it looks is very simple. If it is within working hours, it sends them one thing. If it is outside working hours, it sends them the other thing. 2 of these are really the same, and the logic here is that we can kind of plug the phone action on GHL. And I'm talking like complete nerd if you have never done it yourself. But basically, it dials the lead, and it's a call connect feature. So if you have your client, I'm super sick, guys, so please bear with me on this one. I'll probably speed up this video so it'll be easier for you. But basically this sequence, one thing that I see that this sequence does that a lot of people don't do is that this sequence is actually looped. It's looped in the end, and basically never finishes until people respond. And the huge advantage of this one is that we've had like 115 total people enrolled through this thing, and we have actively enrolled only 24. which is really cool considering that CPL for this client is around like $15, and we are getting this amount of leads, so probably half of it is from January. That is here. So basically you can imagine the response rate to this insane sequence. Now the other thing that I will show you is that first of all you should implement it, and I can show it to you in details, by the way. So just bear with me. So basically add tag that, okay, Facebook lead, create like assign to user the person that calls leads. With this client I do this myself. Basically create opportunity, internal notification, wait for 3 minutes, condition, if else. Basically tag includes, if client books appointments, there is a different workflow that applies tag appointment scheduled. And for example, if he doesn't have a tag, he goes here. If he has a tag, he goes there. Very simple thing. Now, the working hours thing, it looks something like this, like two branches, like very simple. You just set it up like this, and the workflow works only within certain conditions. So for example, here, it sends text message that looks something like this. Hi name, this is Paul from company name. Thank you for reaching out about your niche project, because all of this shit is custom values. A lot of work was put in. We received your request outside business hours, and kind of makes it more personalized as opposed to just sending the same message 24/7 to people. Then basically after 1 minute, I don't know why it is here, but basically wait for 15 minutes. If contact did not reply, it puts them into a sequence. If they did reply, it makes it kind of easier from here. And basically it goes through the same thing, text messages and emails. And I don't know, you can pretty much copy all of this stuff. The other thing that they have is that they have embedded links that are set up through custom values that you can as well set up. It's a very simple thing. Then it's like when messages are supposed to be sent. Sometimes we send them 2 messages a day, that's why it's so efficient. But sometimes we send them only 1. Basically it looks like this. Feel free to copy it, I'm just not gonna copy all of it myself. And everything here is pretty much customizable. And by the way, this one is the copy of this one. The only change is like the first message. So yeah, you can see it pretty much detailed here, and it is very efficient. We even have Emily, really funny name for all of this stuff. But basically in the end of this workflow, if for example still no reply, because we have separate workflow that tracks replies. For example, if client replied and has active workflow, which is this one, workflow number 1, main Facebook lead follow-up sequence, it tags them, lead replied, and it takes them out of the workflow, and it notifies me as well, which makes it kind of more efficient. But basically from here they go into infinite step from like the 7th SMS and different workflow, and then it's just looped forever. People go through this thing for a month, 2, I don't care, because it works like a clock. That's really the thing that you should probably guys implement. The other thing that I have for you is conversation AI. It is a thing within GHL that saves me a lot of time, that does its job really well, because you've probably seen Appointwise, all of these things that are kind of good. I was just like, okay, Appointwise is kind of bugged, so I don't want to get it. I would rather just click buttons on my phone in the middle of the day than like get Appointwise and then have it fuck up all my shit. So yeah, but basically here the way you set it up is like you create a bot. Okay, you don't create a bot. Basically you create general support bot, you create suggestive, and the way it looks is very simple. Let me show you how it looks. Conversations, and I need to go get my delivery, by the way. Conversations, let's load it up. So for example, first message, client booked appointment. Let's click here and it'll load up the message in a second. We see this thing pops up, and this thing pops up, and now it'll figure out the messages to send them, and it is usually very good. Like, got it, Diane, blah blah blah, cabinets, redoing floors, blah blah blah, all this stuff. So it's really good, and sometimes I'm even able to have really good conversations just by clicking buttons, which is really cool thing to have. For example, here the sequence was going on for a couple of days, and then the guy replied, for example here, sorry, blah blah blah, And then basically all of this is conversation AI.